Let's have a chat about the Taurus new moon. It's happening on the 28th of April at 5:31 a.m, depending on where you are. So check your time zone because I'm from Australia, so your time zone might be a little bit different. You could be having this on the 27th. But like always, new moons are a fresh start, a new beginning, a new chapter. And when we're talking about Taurus energy, it's very stable, it's very practical, it's very earthy, it's fixed earth. So once they make up their mind, you're not changing it. They're not budging. They're very steadfast and stubborn like a bull. Taurus really likes to build up wealth. They like luxury, and it's a little bit bougie. It's about self-care, and it's really about unlocking those 5 senses. What can you see? What can you hear? What can you taste? What can you smell? What can you feel? What can you smell? It's ruled by the planet Venus. Now we know that she links to things like beauty and art and love, including self-care and self-love and your relationship with yourself. She also rules over money, and this is a big part of Taurus because typically it rules the second house of your income, your resources, and what you value. So this Taurus season is really asking you to reflect on those things. And because it's a new moon, you should be thinking about, where can I bring more alignment into my life with the things that I value? Or maybe you really need to reflect on what you value and figure that out and then try and align with that. It's a great time to reflect on your income. How are you making money? How are you spending money? Is there somewhere where you can spend a little bit more? Do you need to treat yourself? Do you need to buy that nice bottle of wine, that cheese, and have a platter, a little grazing platter? You need to have a bubble bath. You need to buy yourself some more candles. Do you need some new jewelry? You need a new handbag, a purse, shoes. That's that Taurus energy. But also, where are you spending too much money? Where are you overindulging? What things do you want to save for and budget for? Are you happy with your job and the way you make money? Is there a way you could be making more money? These are all the questions that Taurus really wants you to reflect on and ask yourself. Because it's a new moon. This is going to be a fresh start. So figure out where Taurus is in your chart and then reflect on those questions. But because it is ruled by that Venus, we want to check out what she's doing when this new moon happens. And it just so happens that she is actually direct after being retrograde for so long from Aries to Pisces. But now she's in Pisces, moving direct, moving forward. She's at about 28 degrees in Pisces, but she's conjunct Saturn and the North Node and Neptune, that is technically in Aries by degree. So she's bringing a whole lot of energy into this story. This is showing me, because Neptune is involved, that there is some really beautiful dreams and goals and fantasies that people can go after. Your dreams can become reality because Saturn is reality, Neptune is dreams. And Venus is what we love, what we value, and what we put worth into. So with the North Node being there, this is our life purpose, our destiny. There's like this karmic destined pathway that we could be taking with this new moon around getting really serious about our money and our relationships, including our relationship with ourselves. So for some, this could be a really karmic, serious relationship. For others, it could be a really karmic, serious event around money or a new job. And for some, we might be getting really serious about what we value and trying to live in alignment with our values. Because if we're not being authentic and coming from a place of matching our values and our belief systems, our soul feels really unsettled and we can feel really down and really low. And that's when our mental health can take a huge hit, whether it's anxiety or depression. So really being clear on what we value and also on our beliefs. Our beliefs are more Jupiter, but Venus brings in what we value, which is very close to our belief systems as well. But this is a huge story that we're going to be kind of working on over the next probably 6 months. However, the actual events might occur a week before or after the new moon, but we will have themes of it unfolding naturally until we get to the next Taurus full moon. So enjoy the time. As I said, look at your natal chart because things might be a little bit different for you depending on where Taurus is in your chart. If you want a reading, I definitely do them, so DM me. But there is one final part of this story that I wanted to talk about, and that is the square to Mars that's at about 4 degrees in Leo now. And as this new moon's at 7 degrees in Taurus, there is a pretty tight square there by degree. But it also forms a square to Pluto. It is a 4-degree orb, so it's starting to get a little bit wider of an orb. I would say 3 degrees, and under is a very tight orb. Anything between, 4 to probably 6 degrees is a bit of a wider orb, but you'll still feel this energy. So if we include in this new moon story that T-square, which is the Mars-Pluto opposition, which both planets are squaring the new moon in Taurus, this is what's called a T-square, opposition to squares, then we know that this is going to be a little bit difficult. We already know that Mars opposite Pluto is very explosive and spicy, violent and unhinged, very dramatic and rebellious. And so squaring this new moon, it's a little bit shaky. Because this new moon is in an earth sign, this feels a bit chaotic for weather. Earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, you name it. It could all unfold because Pluto's in an air sign, air problems, tornadoes, hurricanes maybe. Mars is in a fire sign, Leo, so fires, volcanoes. And then the Taurus new moon is earth, so earthquakes, all that kind of stuff. So I expect through mundane astrology and on a collective level, there can be a little bit of chaos around potentially technology, leaders in power, celebrities, the internet, money and banking, tariffs, the economy just going. Which, hey, we've already been seeing this, which is no surprise because it's that energy leading up to the new moon. And there are people that are voicing their opinion that Pluto in Aquarius that are really unhappy about the tariffs and the economy right now and what's causing a lot of these issues. And the anger and frustrations getting put into that Leo energy, the leaders, the royals, celebrities. So yes, we can hear some unhinged, some really dramatic, explosive stories about celebrities. Drama, drama, drama. I've got the tea and popcorn ready. But could we see a famous celebrity passing or having a really big accident? Possibly with that Mars-Pluto opposition tied into this new moon. Could there be another ass attempt, maybe, on the president of the US? Possibly. His chart is very activated. Could we see a leader in the religious community become even more unwell? Maybe things are more serious than we thought. We already know that the Pope has been in hospital quite a lot. Potentially, we might see an escalation of events or health problems there, maybe with this T-square. Or could we see a king, maybe from the United Kingdom, possibly, become really unwell or advocate or pass? Potentially. Now, I know these are really dramatic things to talk about, but this is a very potent energy. And it's kind of showing that a celebrity or a world leader or a royal could be having a dramatic health problem, in hospital, have a serious attack on them, or could pass. Do I want that to happen? No. Am I trying to show you the energy and how we use mundane astrology to see what sorts of things could come about? Yes. I have been pretty open about my predictions and concerns about certain people on my social media. So if you follow my work and you've been watching what I've been writing, then you'll kind of know. If you know, you know. But again, for individuals, this is not going to be as difficult and challenging because we all have different ways our chart's going to be activated. So some of us might have a little bit of a challenging time, but some of us might have a really good time depending on how this new moon is aspecting your natal planets and your chart is what I meant to say. But just because of this alignment of planets and the fact that Venus that rules this new moon, this Taurus new moon, is sextile Uranus that is in Taurus, expect the unexpected. It's going to be shocking. And then we have that Mars-Pluto opposition. We have that T-square, Mars-Pluto opposition, and then both squaring this new moon in Taurus. It's a T-square. That's why I just think this is going to be pretty hectic. I mean, for those of us who are awake, I think we've already been seeing a lot of these events unfold and kind of know what's coming. But for others, this time frame might really shake people and rattle them a little bit. I also think collectively we're going to see a huge, big, dramatic change with money and banks. Like, this is a new start around money that just doesn't look very great. It's not very well aspected new moon. So I suspect money problems, bank problems, the economy is going to take a bit of a hit. But please remember to be the observer and listen to your intuition, okay? And think about where you're from and what you can do to look after yourself, your assets, your money, and